Welcome back to blackstardove. Welcome back to my channel. As always, I do need that HBO special, which means help a brother out. Trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. Go ahead and click that like button. I appreciate it. Today, we're going to discuss the mysterious case of Roda Osman. Roda Osman, better known as the Brick Lady. Long story short, the story was, you've probably seen it online. There was a young lady who claimed they got hit by a brick by a man who walked up to her and asked her for her number, and chaos ensued. Because there have been instances in the past where black men have attacked black women for not giving out their number. Let's not act like that. That has never happened. That has happened before. And the whole protect black women movement, she was instantaneously believed. I believed it too at first, because I was like, okay, she got hit with a brick. I can see that. I've seen men kill women because they wouldn't get their phone number. Like, it is what it is. Then we start seeing the holes in the story poke up. And a lot of stuff wasn't becoming very clear. Long story short, she is now charged with fraud, but she never got any of the money from GoFundMe. So what has happened? So there was a GoFundMe that was made that raised over $40,000, but it was raised using a fraudulent story, which is a financial crime. Roda could not give the full details to GoFundMe website, so they withheld the money and they gave everyone refunds, which we have seen GoFundMe give the money back. So she never got any of the money, but she's being charged with a financial crime because the police are saying that the story that was used to cultivate the money, to get the money, was false. They're saying that she was never hit with a brick. She was hit though, she was assaulted, but she was assaulted in retaliation. It seems like she hit a man and the man hit her back. She knew who the man was. It appears to be her ex-boyfriend. So this whole story just came crumbling down. And now as I last checked, she was on the run. But she was still posting on the Shade Room. I don't know, man. It's just something about that clout. This whole thing has become quite perplexed. Her criminal history has been made available, as well as her trying to do this several times before. She's been charged with several DWIs or DUIs, charged with prostitution, charged with domestic violence, and she's wanted for other crimes in other areas around Texas and Minnesota cities. That whole thing is wild. But I made this video as because there was a few content creators, Daphne, which is keeping her accountable, Nick at Night, Real Talk with Yanni, and I believe even Chrissy did something about this. I know Queen Chuma, I believe she also did something about this as well. But the whole point is that we've seen a lot of content creators get attacked because of this. There were black women who came out and said, hey, this story doesn't seem right. It seems fake. Those women were attacked. Some of them were threatened. A lot of them was like almost doxxed. It was crazy. It was like a witch hunt for them because they didn't dare believe this black woman. And I'm here to say, what are we coming to when it comes to this war? Like black man versus black woman, I understand that. But it's becoming a whole lot more than that. It's becoming like tribalism. And there's so many people willing to die on the Brick Lady Hill, like, oh, I just want her to be right. I just want her to be right. When it turns out that she's in all accounts as of right now wrong, and she's only being charged. Of course, she still has to have her day in court, but right now she's on the run. She was supposed to turn herself in with the NAACP, but I guess that wasn't good enough for her, and she said she wanted a better attorney. So we're looking out for that as well. But my whole point being is that when does integrity come into the mix? When does morals come into the mix? When does being your own individual come into the mix? because we do all this talking, we do all this, you know, I don't want to say backstabbing, but we do a lot of backstabbing to each other. Like, really. And it's so funny how we will backstab one another when you don't agree with somebody's opinion, and then it turns out that person was right and you should give them an apology, but you're too prideful to apologize. Now, we can all apologize to all of them, and we're not saying that. I could sit here and acknowledge that yes, black women have been attacked in the past, and let's be honest, they will be attacked in the future for not giving out their phone number. There have been women that have faced that. But we can also sit here and say that this woman was lying, and she needs to be held accountable. Same way as Carly Russell. Who was Carly Russell? Carly Russell was the woman you probably heard about last summer, who said she found a baby on the freeway, and then she ended up getting kidnapped, and then like she was able to escape her kidnappers. The whole thing ended up being fake. So like the long story short, the whole thing ended up being fake. But yeah, like we owe these content creators a big apology, because some of them were really threatened. They had real threats. Like you can see it on their Instagram and their YouTube. I don't really go on Twitter that much, or X, so I wasn't able to see it there. But it just got so out of hand, because if you don't agree with anything that the quote-unquote mob of that community is going with, they will try to hang you. And we are better than that. Black people are not a monolith. It's okay to be an individual. It's okay to have your own thoughts. It's okay to use your brain and say, something doesn't look right. Let's look more into this. So we gotta say shout out to the Queen of Accountability. She was the one who stayed on this. She was the one who's getting this woman's charges. That woman needs to have all types of cash apps and donations made to her, because she brought this woman, I don't say brought her to justice, but she's hoping to at least have her in court, and then we'll take it from there. But that's it. I'm simply saying here and saying, if you ever said anything bad to these content creators about this subject, please go apologize. You know, because you want somebody to apologize to you. Take care. I love you. Peace.